the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we're here at the Legacy Daytona International Speedway as OP Racing Super Speedway Series brings you the final race in the opening round of Chase Elimination. 2 drivers locked in, Derek Conley, Rick Seabrands. The rest of our 13 drivers trying to advance, only one of them going to win here tonight. Not only that, but good grief, I'm over here talking and I have completely forgotten my best friend in this booth right now. Dave Worrell has joined me here tonight once again. Dave, how you doing out here tonight?
Doing pretty good. Finally got home, finally got ready to go here tonight. Gonna be a interesting night here, KR. Cutoff race in the chase for these OP Racing Super Speedway guys, and I know I'm your best friend because I'm the only one here right now.
Listen, let's not get into semantics, okay? Let's just let my comments be accepted at face value.
Hey, I don't know anybody named Samantha.
Oh yeah, that's not what you said last night.
Wow.
Right now, the 40 machine of Anthony English rolling out on track. He is one of those drivers in desperate need of a win coming into tonight in our point standings. He is just outside the top 8, finds himself in 10th place. As we go ahead and take a look at our point standings, Derek Conley on top of that leaderboard. He does have a race win, so he has locked himself in. Rick Seabrands over in 11th place. He has a race win as well. He is locked into the chase. But then that is where things get a little less simple. James Mayer, Les Levy, Mark Mann, you could call them in the safe zone. But we all know anything can happen on these super speedways. And only 8 drivers are going to advance. 2 spots are taken by Derek Conley, Rick Seabrands, so 6 drivers going to try and make it into round number 2. I'm not even sure which 6 I would try and bet on.
I'm gonna say it's gonna more than likely be six of the good ones.
Oh, 6 of the good ones. Are those good ones the guys out on track tonight?
They will be on track. Yes, KR. They will hit the track at some point in time. But it's gonna be those guys. You know, all of them, all 6 of them.
I'm going to root for him.
Yeah.
Qualifying well and truly underway. The 40 of Anthony English down on the bottom. Another driver trying to make his qualifying time count. That is the 44 of Rodney Cobb. He is out on that track as well. Cobb down on that yellow line. We will see these drivers use that yellow line on their fast lap and really pick up some speed, or I shouldn't even say speed, but just some time spent down on that yellow line really shortens this speedway up.
Yeah, and we'll see all the drivers down there on their second time lap. Even though the bumps, that's where they're at, KR. That's where the car is going to move around a little bit more, be a little bit more unstable. I'm taking a look at the 63 of Logan Hilton, one of those drivers that pretty much he needs a big night here tonight. Has had some trouble here since the chase started, but he's on his second time lap going into turn 3, and I believe you're still with Rodney Cobb up there as he's going to cross the line. Actually, no, Rodney's down the backstretch. What am I thinking?
I don't know, Dave. I keep trying to figure that out. I haven't gotten there yet.
I don't know. Sometimes I just, you know me.
Logan Helton in the 63 machine going to jump up into fourth place. The 40 of Anthony English has set it on pole for the moment with a 47.797. A good qualifying effort by Anthony English. The 04 Mark Mann, he is out on track right now. Well, I say out on track, he's making his way out onto the speedway. And if you guys will note, looking at the left-hand side of your screen, our chase contenders, as they are marked here in our qualifying graphic, have a, well, the first part of a parenthesis. And if you look at Mark Mann's driver graphic, you can see the rest of the C signifying he is in the chase. So a little bit of a snafu with scoring and how the overlays work, but I think every one of our viewers out here tonight, Dave, is able to pick up whatever it is we're laying down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they get the gist, and if they can follow it over there on the left-hand side, then when we got the banner and the ticker running at the top, it seems to be working correctly on that side of things. So you know how it is with technology and all that. Sometimes there's glitches, hang-ups, and bugs that got to get worked out. Not sure who you've got your eye on right now, but I'm watching the rookie of Dave Hunt, the 53 machine. He's out there hugging the outside wall, just started his first time lap. Hasn't made a ton of noise so far this year, so maybe Hunt gonna be a spoiler here today at Daytona.
And Dave Hunt has really only got one top 5 so far this season, but we do see that 53 up in the front of the field quite a lot. Just really hasn't found a way into victory lane yet. Very hard to do here with this OP Racing Super Speedway Series. Another driver I am checking in on, that is the 62 of Les Levy. And, well, I was given a little bit of inside information. This 62 machine successfully piloted around the sun one more time.
And that's not after hitting the wall here at Daytona. Another year in the book for Les Levy. That's an accomplishment all in itself.
So Les, maybe he will get an awesome birthday present and find himself in victory lane. But the 62 machine right now in 14th place in qualifying. He is working his way towards the start finish line as he comes off the corner down to the tri-oval. That 62 going to cross the start finish line and go from 16th up into 4th. Solid qualifying effort by Les Levy.
Yeah, and I tell you what, KR, I'm gonna make you a deal, and all the viewers out there on the YouTube side of things, you can chime in if you want here. If Les happens to win here tonight, I'm gonna sing happy birthday to him in victory lane. What do you think? You think that's a deal? You think that's a bet?
I'll let you do it.
All right, we'll see what the fans think. Well, they probably don't like my voice anyway, but yeah, anyways, that's besides the point. I mean, what a treat. Win a race and get sung to by Dave. I mean, what a day.
Good night.
What a day.
What a day, for sure. Right now, the 52 of Randall Cobb out on track for his qualifying time. The 52 machine currently scored in 18th place, but we have 2.5 minutes left. 18 drivers have officially turned in a qualifying time. We do have just a handful of drivers left who have not made their way out. I'm beginning to think that these drivers who have not rolled out onto the super speedway have decided to not try and qualify. But Randall Cobb in the 52 going to make his way across the start finish line and move from 18th up into 8th place. So Cobb in that 52 machine with a solid qualifying effort as well, getting himself inside the top 10.
And I'm honestly surprised to see as many drivers taking a qualifying run here at Daytona. Almost the entire field, as you said, there's only, about 6 drivers out there that haven't turned in a qualifying lap. So interesting to see the majority of the field, 3/4 at least, going ahead out there and trying to get that pole position and view the guys in the chase. trying to make sure they set themselves up early to possibly get a stage point or two. That could go a long way here.
That it can. And so with that being said, the Cobb machine pulling on to pit road. The only driver that is out on track now is the 44 of Rodney Cobb. But we are going to step away for the national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as drivers are starting to take to the grid, and that means it is time to go through tonight's starting lineup. And Dave, I don't know about you, but these drivers are all scattered throughout the field that are in the chase, but kind of heavy on the front end here in qualifying. Oh, good grief, I can't even talk right. So let's get right down to it. Row number 1 for tonight's race, Anthony English in the 40 machine on pole position, with Derek Conley in the 28 on his outside. Row number 2 going to be the 7 of Josh Milam and the 62 of Les Levy. Row 3 is going to be the 04 of Mark Mann and the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Row 4 will be the 63 of Logan Helton and the 52 of Randall Cobb. Row 5 will be the 4 of Rick Seabrands and the 10 of Robert Duvendak.
Row number 6, the 77 of David Booth, the 53 of Dave Hunt. Row number 7, the 02 of David Overstreet and the 24 of Will Weber. Row number 8, the 50 of Sean McCarrick in the 95 of James Mayer. Row number 9, the 44 of Rodney Cobb, followed by the 8 of Cody Ober. Row 10, the 21 of Daniel Holloway, and rounding out your top 20 here tonight, the 14 of Cody Eldred. Can I get a wave around, please? Can I get a wave around? I can Stenhouse this thing all night. Yeah, a lot of the drivers actually so close in points here coming into this cutoff race that there's only 2 of the drivers that are locked into the next round. So big moment, big race, big night for a ton of your championship contenders. And looking a little bit behind the front 5 or 6 cars right there, and I'm seeing a lot of movement, KR, and that's all the bumps. This older track, a lot of character built into it. Not as smooth, not as easy to pull the 3 wide maneuver here. Not seeing it just yet. Lap number 2 coming to lap number 3, but all the cars wiggling a ton very early here in the race.
All right, Dave. Well, drivers working their way off of turn number 2 down the Daytona backstretch here. The 04 Mark Mann finding himself tucked in tight behind the 7 of Josh Milam and the 28 of Derek Conley, still trying to make something happen on the outside.
And that outside lane just isn't getting the run in the spring back, the accordion effect that we... Whoa, and Anthony English spinning down on the apron. Milam through the grass. Now Mark Mann down in the grass as well. Big time trouble for a lot of big names very, very early. We stay green. Flag racing as the field now. Caution is out.
Yellow flag comes out. Cody Ober involved in this one as well. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and check out what went wrong for some of our drivers. The 7 of Josh Milam and the 40 of Anthony English are going to start that off. And then you mentioned Mark Mann. Looks like he got turned going through the tri-oval, and that is going to trigger a big stack up. Several more cars got involved. The 2 incidents, it would seem, everyone trying to make their way through the corner here. Mark Mann ends up on the grass, but he makes contact with nobody. It literally looked like everyone was just kind of scattering in anticipation of the 04 to come out, and that never happened.
Yeah, it's almost just a chain reaction kind of thing. A few drivers checking up and changing lanes, and then others not checking up just as much as they quite needed to, not getting the space right, and 1, 2 accidents. They never wrecked. Oh, 3rd accident, there was a wreck.
So Derek Conley in the 28 machine already has a win in this round of elimination, finding himself as your race leader. Les Levy in the 62 machine, a driver who needs to have either a race win or a stellar points night to continue his championship hopes, finding himself in 2nd place. We are working lap 5 of 100. Stage 1 going to end at the completion of lap 25. So right now, doesn't look like anybody's going to come down pit road just yet.
No, and I think this gets them in their fuel window, KR. I think we've seen this before where a caution about 5 or 6 laps into the race, into stage 1, I should say, will pretty much buy you the fuel mileage that you need to get to the end of stage 1. Still cutting it pretty close, but it looks like a lot of drivers are hitting pit road, top 6 or 7, staying out on track.
So several drivers have made pit stops, fuel only for most of them, and down and away they go. Josh Milam in the 7 machine and the 40 of Anthony English working on their race cars. So too is a couple others that got involved in that incident. The 44 of Rodney Cobb, he has found himself now 1 lap down. He did go for a hard smack into the outside wall during all of that melee. So the 44 being scored, the only car 1 lap down right now. So we'll see how this plays out for him, if he can keep up with the field and maybe stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if he's not able to stay on the lead lap, KR, you know, the stage caution, if he can keep himself the first car lap down.
Did I say lead lap? I meant 1 lap down.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I meant.
If he can keep himself 1 lap down, he's okay.
Yeah.
Still a very, very long race. Get it back at the end of the stage. We have seen cautions fly right at the end of the stage, before the stage. So, plenty of time.
There is plenty of time left in this race. But right now, well, everyone's got a chance to catch their breath. We've got about 2 laps in, and then that caution flag flew. Was it 2 or 3? It don't matter. It's a quick start, though. Things at the front of the field looked very calm, and really it looked like the 7 and the 40 just zigged and zagged right into each other. So, nice little early caution here. Several drivers trying to run down on the apron, shorten this track up just that much more, and maybe not have to worry about fuel at the end of this stage.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll always see drivers trying to save fuel out there, cutting the car off, pushing the clutch in, things of that nature. But when you see them down there on the apron here at Daytona, they're trying to save as much as possible, shortening the track up, cutting it off completely, and just rolling as long as they can, keeping up with the pace speed. And I think all 6, 7, actually 7 of them, Robert Duvendak, the last driver on this strategy, I think they're all going to make it to the end of the stage without a problem. Probably be able to make it all the way back around. You may get 1 or 2 of those drivers, if they're out front leading a pack, KR, that they're going to have to take a penalty, the black flag, for entering a closed pit at the end of the stage. But no harm, no foul.
Well, the 52 machine of Randall Cobb finds himself in 4th place. Another one of our championship drivers, and the only championship driver from Buck Wild Racing, as he is trying to represent his team in this championship. He is in need of a solid points night as well, or a race win. Sitting in 4th place, going to be a good feeling for him.
You know, this may be a little bit off subject, off topic, but looking down at the track right now, KR, and I'm not liking what's out there in front of the field. I thought we got this straightened out. I thought our agents had it taken care of, but apparently somebody needs to be talked to.
We've been bamboozled.
Hoodwinked.
This scallywags.
Run 'em up.
The Ford Mustang has turned its lights out. That means we are getting ready to go green flag racing once again. Derek Conley on the inside for this restart. Les Levy on his outside. We'll see how this works out. The 26 machine, that is Hunter Reynolds. Hunter, an FSR driver, tucked in behind his teammate Derek Conley. So we've seen FSR work together and just show the dominance that a team firing on all cylinders can create. Here are two FSR drivers, and it looks like the rest of this field better start paying attention, because if we can get all four of them lined up, 5 of them lined up, ooh, that'll be it.
Well, we've seen it happen all season long, KR. Teammates getting hooked up with each other, helping each other out. If you got teammates early for a stage win, gonna be pretty good for you. Pace car down and away. Conley hits the gas. Green flag racing once again here at Daytona International Speedway. Hunter Reynolds right there on Connolly's bumper, outside lane, fading back just a little bit with Les Levy leading it for Randall Cobb. Sorry. Not getting quite the push he needs on the back of Levy to get him up there, and even with Reynolds just yet, slowly surging forward now off of turn 2.
Robert Duvendak gonna slide up to the high side. He's gonna get in front of his teammate Rick Seabrands. Duvendak, one of the drivers looking for a race win. Seabrands drops down to the inside in that 4 machine. They're going to run door to door. Meanwhile, the 26 of Reynolds taking a peek to the outside, but not committing to it, as here comes the 62 of Les Levy with the momentum, trying to surge to the front of the field.
Trying to get there on the outside lane. Now finally surging, even going into turn number 1. Levy going to suck down just a little bit, leaving about a half a car between the top 2 runners, as Connolly continues to lead the field back down the backstretch once again. And KR, if Connolly can win another race here, that's going to make the points a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, if Connolly wins the race, that means that everyone else is going to have to get in on the points. Our 13 drivers who do not have a win, well, we'll count it as 11 drivers who don't have a win in this championship. Well, they are desperate to get one. Sometimes that desperation will lead to an incident out on track, and that could end their night. So it is a tough tightrope to walk for several of these drivers.
And we've got 4 of them sitting in the side, the top 5. I mean, most of them all sitting inside the top 10, just 1 or 2 on the outside, actually 4 on the outside looking in on that top 10 right now as we continue green flag racing side by side through the field. The entire field within about a second or so of each other. Big wiggle there by Reynolds off of turn number 4. That could have been big time trouble right there.
Conley in the 28 continuing to lead, but Les Levy in the 62 able to cross the start finish line first and log himself a bonus point. And that could be a difference, as the 62 almost gets into the 26. Big hold your breath moment there, but everyone sorts it out. We stayed green, working lap 12 of 25 here in stage number 1.
Field through the center of 3 and 4, and a lot of movement again here, KR. And it's just got to be this old surface here at Daytona Legacy. The 07 version, the bumpy before the repaved track, has got these drivers on edge out there. You can see all the way through the field. They're snaking, man. They are all over the place.
Yeah, the bumps here at Daytona do tend to make these cars move up and down, left and right, as the 26 of Reynolds going to try and make a move to the outside lane, but Les Levy wanted no part in drafting behind him. Now he tucks in that 62, going to follow the 26. And we see now a few more drivers jockeying for position at the back here. The 4 machine of Rick Seabrands starting to creep forward a little bit more. He finds himself 3rd car in that inside lane. The 53 of Dave Hunt now trying to work hard on getting that 28 shoved out in front.
And that was almost a big time moment there. I thought maybe Les was gonna take Reynolds 3 wide right there, but elected to check up just a little bit. Luckily, he had the help from the drivers behind him to not give him a push. Now Seabrands jumping to lead that outside lane. Les Levy gonna take over the 3rd position down there on the inside lane. The Seabrands have what it takes to go up there and pass Connolly down on the inside. Remember, both of those drivers, KR, both of them are already locked in. And look at that surge. That is absolutely amazing. What a push by Hunter Reynolds to get Seabrands not just up to Connolly, but they both clear him now. Reynolds gonna leave Seabrands out there on that outside lane. Now they'll battle through 1 and 2 for the race lead. Reynolds does have the advantage.
Brian Mansfield gonna go around at the back of the pack. We are gonna get a caution out, and it looks like the 40 of Anthony English getting a piece of this one, as well as the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened. Mansfield in that 23 machine, working his way through the corner. And it looks like he's going to get a touch from the 7 of Josh Milam, catches the 00. So English and Holloway were able to squeeze through without any issues. David Overstreet in the 02 going to take us on aboard for this next shot. Just got to key it up here. Take one more stab at it. I'll get it right sooner or later. Don't you worry about that, folks. All right, now as we ride on board with the 02 of Overstreet, Mansfield in the 23, going to go around. Evasive action being taken by several drivers in front of Overstreet. You see just how quickly your fortunes can change.
Yeah, pretty much when they happen on these super speedways, it happens very fast, and if you're not lightning quick with your reaction, and find yourself in it. And I think that who was that? Anthony English. I'm not sure how bad it's going to be. He's definitely going to have some right front damage. He was on the brakes. Car just went up there and hit that outside safer barrier. They're going to be beating on that thing. I believe he has already used his one fast repair. Or maybe I'm wrong on that one too. Can you call his crew chief for me?
I can, but inside information, you know, I can't share team information with you. Oh wait, no, he's not on my team. Oh well, who cares? So the 40 going to make his way down on the pit road. Hunter Reynolds in the 26, staying out along with Rick Seabrands, Randall Cobb, Derek Conley, and Robert Dubendak, who will make up your top 5 for the moment. This caution flag is going to help these drivers make it a little bit further on fuel. Everyone going to be a little bit, breathe a little bit more easily, as they now have a second caution here in stage number 1 to help carry them to the end of this thing without stopping for fuel.
And I'm trying to zero in on that 40 of Anthony English, and it looks like timing and scoring, he stayed in his pit stall a little bit longer, about 6 seconds or so longer than anybody else. Does still have a little bit of damage to the front end of that 40 machine, so not using a fast repair there. Doesn't look like it's too terrible. As long as he stays tucked in, he should be all right, but he finds himself in deep waters here, KR, way back outside of the top 15, and he needs a good night to move on to chase after this championship.
Yeah, he's looking for a solid run here. Trying to do the smart thing, not use the fast repair, just hammer out the damage and try and hold on to that until, you know, the 3rd stage, or maybe misfortune finds the 40 again. He ends up having to use it with either a blown engine or severe damage. But front of the field, Hunter Reynolds, the aluminum foil, doing its job on that 26.
And you know what I think we all need to begin to ask for? I want hammer sounds and bearer bond.
Well, seeing as you can't use bearer bond anymore,
or something. Give me something. Give me tape, something.
I don't think they let them use tape anymore. right? I don't remember. I don't know. Either way, the lights are on the pace car. I'm surprised they haven't failed yet. This is a Ford Mustang.
Yeah, but look, just behind him, we've got another Ford Mustang, and it's leading the field.
Well, that's just because Rick Seabrand's in that ZL1's being nice and polite. Letting him lead some laps under caution. And you go ahead. Derek Conley in the 28, still trying to shorten this super speedway up as much as possible. He is down on the apron. Dave Hunt going to join him there, as well as the 62 of Les Levy. 8 drivers did not come down pit road this time. Or I'm sorry, last time. Those 8 drivers are Hunter Reynolds, Rick Seabrand, Derek Conley, Randall Cobb, Robert Duvendak, Dave Hunt, and Les Levy. Those drivers all trying to make their fuel stretch as far as possible. And Dave, it is going to be, well, we'll see if they can get to the end of this stage, not only the end of the stage, but also the cool down lap to catch up to the pace car.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at something, a 6-lap shootout here to decide who's the winner of stage number 1. And I'm just wondering who's gonna push the envelope here, knowing that the track is pretty bumpy, cars are pretty loose, the pushing has got to be pretty accurate. And I'm just wondering who's ready to push the button, who's ready to put themselves out front and start to assert themselves here early tonight, and I don't know, maybe walk away with a shot at the championship at the end of this thing.
Only 8 drivers are going to advance here tonight. Derek Conley, Rick Seabrand have locked themselves in. Randall Cobb in the 52. Outside of row number 2 for this restart. Robert Duvendak inside row number 3. Those drivers looking for a chance to keep their championship hopes alive. So too is the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. But Dave, lights have gone out on the pace car. We're going to fire them off. We're going to set them free and try and finish this stage out. The completion of lap 25. Here we go. Pace car down and away. And Hunter Reynolds gets on the throttle as the green flag flies once again. And Hunter Reynolds gets a big jump over the 28 of Derek Conley, as they are going to try and close that gap and work together to push one of these 2 cars to the first stage win.
And if I'm most of the field right now, I'm taking notice that the 52 of Randall Cobb, he hasn't had the very best restarts. It seems like that outside lane is not the place you want to be on a restart. So maybe look for some of these drivers to play some pit road games here at the end of stage number 1. Try to set themselves up for that inside restart. But Duvendak surging to the front with help from James Mayer. They're gonna pull even with Hunter Reynolds on the outside. Still has Derek Connolly right behind him. Mayer right on the bumper of Duvendak. Duvendak has it. Will he have it at the line? Surging back on the outside was Reynolds. Duvendak gonna lead that last lap back through the center of 1 and 2. And things are getting a little bit hotter up there at the front.
And we're going to have 5 laps to go in this stage. Duvendak in the 10 machine, a big wiggle there. James Mayer in the 95. Teammates trying to work together, but here comes the 63 of Logan Helton. Don't count him out of this one just yet. But the 26 and the 28 made a bold move. Both of them moved up to the high side here, and it looked like it was a planned move. Not 100% sure how it's going to work out for him, but Hunter Reynolds did lead that lap.
And there are some big pushes going on that outside lane. Derek Connolly pushing hard on the rear of that 26 machine, offsetting just a little bit, trying to keep the engine cool. But as we've always seen, that inside lane slowly begins to surge back to the front. They'll get the momentum going back into turn number 3. Duvendak surges almost a car in front of Reynolds now. Will the outside lane come back? Looks like it's starting to, as they head off of turn number 4. Once again, side by side for your top 10 as we begin lap number 23 out of the 25 here in stage number 1. Caution on the track.
And we got a couple cars going around in the trial, and by a couple, I mean like 8. That's a couple, right? Les Levy in the 62, one of those going around. It looks like the 62 machine up in smoke. The 7 of Josh Milam smoking as well. So let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened to the 62. Everyone wiggling a little bit. Dave Hunt in the 53. The 77 of David Booth going to get into his teammate. Heavy impact there for the 62 and the 7. Anthony English in the 40 getting a piece of that as well. So let's take another look at this one. And just big impacts all around as they were working their way through the tri-oval. Take another shot here from high atop the spotter tower. You see the 62 goes for a spin. Josh Milam in the 7. Heavy impact for him. So a couple engines up in smoke. That is the 7 of Josh Milam and the 62 of Les Levy.
And both of those drivers championship contenders. Will Weber also a championship contender. He's being scored 1 lap down right now. Milam and Les could find themselves in a world of hurt here, possibly not being able to advance after being caught up in a few incidents very early here in stage number 1.
And I do believe that is going to do it as everyone's making their way onto pit road, waiting for race control to confirm. But I believe the 10 of Robert Duvendak going to be our stage 1 winner as he works his way down onto pit road. Everyone else is joining him. That 10 machine picking up those early bonus points by getting that stage win.
Yeah, gonna help his cause, that's for sure. As close as the points are heading into tonight, with it being the cutoff race before round number 2 here in the chase for the OP Racing Super Speedway Series. So every point that these drivers can snatch away is gonna help their cause. Rick Seabrand's, Derek Connolly, only drivers that really don't have to worry about that here tonight. They can just kind of go out there, hang it on all out on the line when they want to, and you know, they're already locked into the next round, so they can just kind of do whatever they really want.
All right, let's see if we can't get a word in with our stage 1 winner. That is the driver of the 10 machine, Robert Duvendak. Mr. Duvendak, you got your ears on?
Yes, sir, I do. How you doing, KR?
I'm doing great, but Dave has some questions for you.
All right, let's hear them.
Well, let me think of a few first, because I didn't know I had questions for you other than, man, how's it feel to go up there, win stage number 1 here in the cutoff race? Points battle very, very close. How's the car out there? How you feeling, bud?
I'm feeling great. I was a little nervous there, knowing how important stage points are for me tonight. I had to go out there and, you know, try to get the maximum points there. Just before I race, I put on my NASA shirt because I brought the rocket tonight. Put that thing up front. We're going to do what we can, try to get as many points as possible. I got to thank Jim for that push there. I was kind of shocked when I saw Hunter and Derek jump up to the high line there and just kind of left the bottom wide open for me. And then I got a heck of a push from Jim there and caught the lucky caution.
Well, man, I know it's still a very long race here. Did you learn anything on that late restart that maybe you might be able to utilize later on, maybe at the end of stage number 2, or if we get a caution before then?
Not really. I mean, I was kind of playing it safe there that whole stage and just trying to conserve my fuel and tires and just make sure I was in the right position there for the end of the stage. And like I said, I was kind of surprised to see Hunter and Derek jump to the high line. I know the high line's usually the preferred line after a long run on tires, but once they jumped up high, I just got that run and was kind of shocked to get up there like I did.
All right, my man. Well, do appreciate you taking a little bit of time talking to us up here in the booth. KR, you got anything for him before we get to the formalities of letting him do his thank yous, love yous, I do's?
No, it's just Dave. I mean,
Just Dave.
Dave, you did a fine job.
Well, Robert,
I
what you got
thank
to
you
say?
guys. I thank you guys for doing this every week. I thank you for pulling me up here and letting me get some words in. The last few weeks have been kind of rough on me, and I haven't gotten many chances. Before I go, though, I do want to throw a shout out here to the paint job on Will Weber's car. I was hoping I was going to get to win a stage last week to give a shout out, but I want to thank his grandfather for everything he's done for our country. So I want to give a shout out to Major Charles Rudolph Rudy Weber for all that he's done.
All right, that is Robert Duvendak, who is your stage winner out of the Alliance Motorsports stable. Picks up a solid couple bonus points, and all these points are going to matter here tonight. And one car that he mentioned, that was the 24 Will Weber. We check him as he leaves pit lane. Will Weber finds himself one lap down. That paint scheme representative of the choppers that Rudy Weber flew. So I personally think that is one of the best looking cars out there tonight.
Yeah, and that's just hands down a great car, great tribute, great way to give recognition to somebody that you've loved and cared for and has done so much for so many others. So hats off to Will Weber and for pulling that paint scheme off and paying tribute.
All right, so the 63 Logan Helton, by virtue of a very quick pit stop, going to start stage 2 from pole position on his outside in a brand new paint scheme. That is the 11 of Chase Berry. Dave Hunt in the 53 tucked in behind Chase Berry. Very similar yellows being used there. So gonna be kind of hard to tell those two apart from certain angles. But let's not forget that 52 of Randall Cobb right there on the inside of row number 2. And Dave, why don't you call this green flag?
Pace car lights are, are off. Finally getting out of the way. Helton gonna hit the loud pedal once again. Here at Daytona International Speedway, your top 2 side by side, heading off into turn number 1. And Randall Cobb with a great restart that time. Notice he was on that inside lane, so that 52 likes the restart on the bottom lane. Now Helton surging forward, coming off of turn number 2, still side by side with Chase Berry. And man, I tell you what, nobody giving up, letting out just yet. They're on the throttle all the way down the backstretch drag race. Chase Berry gets the advantage, ducks down low, and that is going to leave the 53 leading that outside lane with help from Hunter Reynolds back at the front of the field. Robert Duvendak right behind him. James Mayer down on the inside lane just behind Randall Cobb. There you see Batman himself, the 04 of Mark Mann, up inside the top 10. Your top 10 all right there under a blanket.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and do a little bit of turn it up here in stage number 2. A little bit of turn it up, never hurt nobody, always making the racing action feel that much more intense. And the 11 machine of Chase Berry continues to lead down on that yellow line as he sits in front of the 63 of Logan Helton. This lead pack has broken away a little bit. We are trying to see that 28 machine of Derek Conley and the 40 of Anthony English work their way forward and catch up to the tail end of this lead pack.
Yeah, well, a new paint scheme, a new day, a new drive for your race leader, Chase Berry's. He's got that, it looks like Camel Joe on that car, or Joe Camel, whatever you want to call it. Man, it looks good. It's sharp, it's shiny, and he's got it right where he wants it, right there, leading that inside lane. Help from Hunter Reynolds just behind him. Hooters car of the 52, Randall Cobb. I mean, there's good battles all over. We got the front pack with a little bit of a breakaway just behind them. Anthony English, David Overstreet, those drivers trying to get all grouped back together with Cody Ober and Rick Seabrands and see if they can't track down that front pack. Lap 32 out of 100 KR. Very long way to go here, still in stage number 2, but very long, very long way to the end of this race.
That it is. And we do have 2 lead groups now. Brian Mansfield in the 23, finding himself kind of in a no man's land. He's going to fall back a little bit till the 62 of Les Levy can catch up to him, and the 77 of David Boo. Let's not forget Sean McCarrick in that 50 machine out there as well. McCarrick driving for Schultz Shed Racing. And that 50 machine been waiting for his teammates to come back and turn some laps, but he has been flying solo for quite a while now. He does work with the 11 at Chase Berry from time to time, and Chase Berry sitting at the front of the field.
Yeah, and I think maybe Dave Hunt's crew chief or spotter may have had that comment we had of him not really having a very good season so far, only one top 5. May have gotten back to him, and he finds himself up there battling for the race lead. Now clear. He wants to drop down. There it is. There he goes down to the bottom. He's going to take over, leading that inside lane. Berry, oh, big move there by Berry, stacking up behind him. Cobb into the back of Helton. Helton still trying to catch it. Heck of a save. What a wheel, man. The kid, man, I tell you, that thing was sideways, KR, and he still kept it heading in the right direction. That's going to hurt Mark Mann as he checked up through all of that outside lane, suffering just a little bit. Hunter Reynolds still leading the outside lane. Now Duvendak coming to his rear bumper. Big wiggle, big move to the outside by Chase Berry. Oh man, that's going to stack up that outside lane big time.
Breaks the momentum of the 53 of Dave Hunt, allows the 63 of Logan Helton to dive down to the inside, and he is going to try and poke the nose of his race machine out in front of this field. Helton has yet to lead a lap here tonight, and it looks like Chase Berry in the 11 machine going to deny that 63 one more time as he dives down to the inside.
And Chase using some big moves here to not just get in the front of the field, but keep that top spot. Seen him lose the top position. He fell back around, made another move back down to the bottom. He leads the race once again, halfway down the backstretch. Familiar face to his outside. Hunter Reynolds with help from Robert Duvendak, James Mayer in tow. Anthony English involved in multiple things here tonight. And look at him right there, 4th car outside lane inside your top 10, running in 9th. Helton loose down there, crossing the line that time by. That's going to hurt Chase Berry as Hunter Reynolds surges forward going into turn number 1.
Outside lane has the advantage for the moment. The 11 of Chase Berry trying to close the gap. Now that Hunter Reynolds in the 26 drops down to the inside, the 40 of Anthony English taking us on board here. The 95 of James Mayer and the 10 of Robert Duvendak starting to work together to try and take away this race lead.
Yeah, still a hot battle up there. After, whoa, Barry up the hill, coming off of turn number 4, almost into the side of James Mayer. They keep it headed in the right direction. Now Robert Duvendak surging forward. Mayer clears. They both drop to the bottom. That's going to leave Anthony English high and dry on the outside, all alone as the top 4 work their way off of turn number 2.
Yeah, the 40 of Anthony English has got to be thanking his teammates for that one. He's fallen backwards and quickly, but everyone seems to have tried to abandon that outside lane for the moment. Only 3 cars in that lane. The 40 of Anthony English, the 21 of Daniel Holloway. And it looks like those are the only 2 cars in the outside lane, and they have not hooked up at all yet.
You know, I'm looking through the field right now, KR, as the lead pack makes its way across the start-finish line. Well, actually, they're a little bit farther than that at this point in time. But anyways, it looks like the entire field getting single file, and we've seen this happen before. So I think pit stops are within the next few laps. A few drivers getting caught out there. Chase Berry made a ton of great moves, but now finds himself getting freight trained out there on that outside lane. Robert Duvendak leading the front of the field, has James Mayer right behind him. Hunter Reynolds, then the 53 of Dave Hunt. And man, I don't think they can make it to the end of stage number 2 without stopping. So I wonder who's going to stay and get how much gas, no tires, or who's going to take 4. Possibly 2. Who knows?
Yeah, with the end of stage 1 coming a little bit early, that did see these drivers have to turn a few more laps here in stage 2 than what is originally planned. But that doesn't mean that we may not see somebody try and stretch their fuel as far as possible. It is going to be very tough to make it to the end of this stage. But every time we think we know what's going to happen, somebody somewhere tries to prove us wrong.
And proving us wrong right here on that outside lane. Once again, Chase Berry heading back to the front of the field. Anthony English with a great push. And something I noticed with this push is he hasn't really been right on the bumper. He's left a little bit of space. He doesn't really push him. He leaves a little bit of space. It's like a little bubble, a little bit of a bump draft there halfway down the backstretch. But I can see him moving forward a little bit more than most of the other cars that are right there pushing each other, if that makes any type of sense to you.
Yeah, it does. He's not right on his back bumper. He's leaving a little bit of gap. But I think what it is allowing is that engine to stay at a nice cool temperature and really produce as much horsepower as it can. They are able to work together and make their way back to the front of the field. Logan Helton in the 63, looking like he may jump up to the high side in front of the 21 of Holloway. So far, that hasn't happened just yet.
And Duvendak's got to be careful there. He left the inside lane open a little bit there through 1 and 2. Got to be careful of leaving any type of space. I don't care who it is. You leave enough space, they will put the nose there. And more than likely, you may find yourself turned if you don't realize it quick enough. But nonetheless, Robert Duvendak continues to lead the field as they head back into turn number 1.
We go on board with the 23 of Brian Mansfield. He sits in 22nd place. Last car out on track. Unfortunately, the 24 of Will Weber has called it a night. He has gone behind the wall. So Will Weber with an early exit. We started 23 cars. All 22 that remain out there are on the lead lap. So far, no takers for pit lane this time, but we are going to have 7 laps to go here in stage number 2. Duvendak continuing to lead. He has been out front for 11 laps in total here tonight. Derek Conley has led for 10 laps. Those two have led the most laps here together at this bumpy Daytona track. So Dave, as we get closer and closer to the end of this race, these chase drivers really starting to try and set themselves up for stage wins.
Yeah, I mean, your top three right now running in order all need good finishes here today to move on into round number 2 in the chase. So it's very important for a lot of these drivers, and I think that's why we see Chase Berry being a little bit more aggressive here in stage number 2 than what he was in stage number 1, as he's slowly pulling back to the front with help from none other than Logan Helton, and he's another driver that needs quite a good finish here tonight. So we're seeing the cream kind of rise to the top, and drivers stepping up to the plate, even though they know they got Nolan Ryan out there on the mound.
Couple drivers have hit pit road. Daniel Holloway in the 21 going to lead the 04 Mark Mann and the 4 Rick Sebrands. So green flag pit stops are underway. Robert Dumendacki in the 10 machine continues to lead out in front. He has his teammate, the 95 James Mayer, right behind him. Meanwhile, Chase Berry in the 11 machine stuck on the outside lane all by himself. Nobody wanting to work with him just yet. Be a big move here to try and jump up to the outside lane and then try and move down onto pit road.
And it seemed, mass exodus from the track surface, and Chase Berry high and dry all by himself. That is gonna spell trouble for Berry here in stage number 2. I mean, he's got 4 laps to go until the end of stage number 2, but there's absolutely no way he's gonna make it on fuel now. No drafting help, no partner. That is big time trouble. Crazy amount of cars hitting pit road that time.
Big stack up going on to pit lane. The 28 of Derek Conley locked the brakes up. He's going to get into his teammate, the 7 of Josh Milam, and then everyone else tried to take evasive action to get around these two. And so that is going to cost the 7 and the 28 tons of time. The 11 of Chase Berry is going to make his way onto pit road all by himself. No help whatsoever on that 11 machine. We'll see how much time Chase Berry is going to end up losing here. James Mayer in the 95 and the 63 of Logan Helton working their way down the backstretch, trying to get up to speed. These two have made their pit stops and have got hooked up quite quickly. And in fact, they have a 1.6 second lead over the 10 of Robert Dubendak. Is Dubendak trying to track them down? He's got 2 cars behind him. But now onto the front stretch. Here they come. And everyone really trying to get up to speed down on the apron. You see just how rough the truck is even down on the apron.
Yeah, it's just the track's got character, man. It's all over the place. Even in the high lane, you got some of those bumps as Berry tries to go out and slow the path there of James Mayer. He was having none of it. Logan Hilton still right there on his rear deck lid. They're going to take the top spot away from Chase Berry as he is falling through the field now after losing any drafting help. He's going to slot himself in the 6th position. But, yeah, I mean, this track, it's just fun everywhere you go. Can be frustrating, but fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. I always enjoy driving the 10 of Dubendak, working with the 40 of Anthony English, trying to take over the race lead as we are on lap 49 of 100. Just 1.5 laps left here in stage number 2. James Mayer down on the inside lane, but Dubendak in the 10 and the 40 of Anthony English have taken over the top spot for the moment. Dubendak, your stage 1 winner. Can he go 2 in a row here and win both opening stages? The 40 of Anthony English making a move to the outside.
Trying to win stage number 1 and stage number 2. Duvendak not putting up a fight, not throwing a block as Anthony English moved to the outside. He has the momentum, has the pace. Now he has put Duvendak in the rear view mirror, has James Mayer right there on his rear deck lid. Now looking to slowly drop to the inside lane. Gonna do it now going into turn number 3. Almost contact between the 10 of Duvendak and the 52 of Randall Cobb as Anthony English holding strong. Coming to the green and white checkered flag here to end stage number 2. Oh, Cobb around and into the wall. Berry collected.
Randall Cobb and Chase Berry getting together as the 40 of Anthony English is going to win the stage. And so a heavy impact at the front of the field. The 52 able to get going. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay here and watch this one more time. Chase Berry in the 11 with nowhere to go. The 52 hard on the brakes, keeping it load up. It gets rolling once again, but Anthony English in the 40 picking up your stage 2 win.
Yeah, and that was absolutely a great jump by English to get outside and surge forward the way that he did. Great job, great run there by a championship driver. And they're coming to the end of that stage, KR. We had your top 10 all championship contenders.
That it was. So guys, we're going to take a moment while the field gets caught up to the pace car. Take a break. We'll be back to talk to our stage 2 winner.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight as Stage 2 has wrapped up, and your winner is none other than the 40 of Anthony English. So let's see if we can't get a word in with the driver of that 40 machine. Your Stage 2 winner, Anthony English. You got your ears on?
Yes, sir, KR.
Man, oh man, what a nice job out there for that second stage. You survived a green flag pit stop, and it looked like you and your teammates were working together very well to pull off that win.
Oh, yeah, KR. I mean, it just started with just good pit stops all around for all of us. We were able to get in, get ahead of the field, and me and Robert kind of just hooked up there, and we just had one hell of a run. We were able to blow by the other two, and then I had to take a shot. I need as many points as I can, so I had to take a shot. And I took Robert on the outside, and James helped me push me to the stage win. So.
Well, that 40 machine did a great job here in the second stage. A solid season for you all season long, but one of the drivers kind of on the outside looking in need to have a solid points run, as you mentioned. But what about a race win? Not even going to have to worry about points if you can get the race win here tonight.
Hey, if I can take the W and not have to sweat it out, I'm all for it, man. But right now I just got to dig for every point that I can get and see how it plays out in the end.
All right, well, the lights have gone out on the pace car, so that means it's time to focus on the job at hand. But before that, any shout outs or thank yous you need to send out there?
Oh, for sure. You guys up in the booth, Turn 3, you guys do awesome. My teammates at Alliance Motorsports and Alex and gang for everything to do here.
All right, that is Anthony English, driver of the number 40, your Stage 2 race winner. Getting it done out there tonight, Dave.
He had a very good job there. He made a great move to put himself in position to snatch a few points here in the race tonight. Gonna line up inside row number 1, lead the field back to the green flag once again. James Mayer this time gonna be to his outside, not there behind him for the push. So big night ahead still for these drivers as we are on lap 55 out of 100 KR. We've got a few attempts at a green-white checkered should we need it, but I see a common theme here once again. A ton of your championship drivers all within the top 10 for this restart. Get things kicked off for the final stage.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to have, it looks like 8 drivers inside the top 10 that are chase contenders. Lights have gone out. We get ready to fire them off once again. Pace car getting ready to make the move down onto pit road. Anthony English in the 40 machine gets on the throttle, and we are back underway. James Mayer got caught napping, so too did the 04 Mark Mann, and that is going to leave the 40 of Anthony English in no man's land. He might get swallowed up here.
Yeah, and that's something you normally don't want to do and don't want to see, is get that good of a jump with no help behind you, as we now see James Mayer surging forward. He's got help right on his bumper. Derek Connolly with a push. That's going to get Mayer clear. Connolly not able to pass English on the inside just yet. That inside lane beginning to surge forward once again as they make their way off of turn number 4.
Side by side off of turn number 4 and heading towards the start-finish line. Anthony English falling a little bit behind here. James Mayer in the 95 going to be scored as your lap leader that time around. I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Will Weber has made it back out on track. He is 9 laps down, but now the 8 of Cody Ober has gone behind the wall. He has called it a night here in this final race of this first round. So Cody Ober, early exit here tonight.
And we may see a few other drivers exiting early here tonight. Not a ton of cautions out there so far, but I've said it many times here, KR, these drivers are wiggling all over the place. I should say the cars, not the drivers. I mean, they are all over this track. Still putting out some fast laps, fast times. Hunter Reynolds now going to take over the lead of the inside lane, going to surge forward. Connolly right there pushing. Mayer on the outside still. Dave Hunt in that 53 machine pushing him as they head off into turn number 3.
Hunt in that 53 almost getting into the wall as his car pushed up just a little bit, but he gathered it back in. The 10 of Robert Duvendeck, your stage 1 winner, tucked in behind the 53 machine. He is going to go door to door with your stage 2 winner. That is the 40 of Anthony English. These two have fallen a few rows back since the start of their stage wins. But the 26 of Hunter Reynolds finding himself out in clean air, and he has that 28 of Conley on his back bumper.
Yeah, Connolly has been a good pusher so far all night here, as well as James Mayer. James, great pusher. Got not just Hunter Reynolds clear, but also got the 40 of Anthony English clear at the end of stage number 2. So, two drivers I'd want to see behind me, and Connolly with a big push. He's going to get himself clear, try to jump to the outside lane and make the switch. As the outside lane going to surge big time now into turn number 1. I believe he's going to get the job done by the time he works his way off of turn number 2. There it is, clear, and away will James Mayer jump down there before Connolly has a chance. Halfway down the back stretch, they both stay up in that higher lane.
Dave Hunt in the 53 going to slice down to that inside line. Gets in front of the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Hunt looking for his first win of the season. But one driver who is not liking where he is at right now, and that is Logan Helton in the 63 machine. He finds himself in a desperate situation. If he continues to run in this position, he will not get enough points to work into the next round of chase contention. Your regular season's points champion looking like he's got some work to do, but don't count him out just yet, Dave. I know you don't have faith in this boy, but I think he's got something up his sleeve.
Now, I never once said I didn't have faith in the kid. Big fan of the kid, actually. And I mean, it's quite surprising, though. I mean, KR, you're running 11th on track, and you're sitting on the outside looking in at moving on in the chase for your championship. As a rookie, you're chasing a championship. So, I mean, Helton's proven all season long, and it's amazing that, I mean, even Randall Cobb sitting in 10th, possibly Josh Milam sitting in 8th. They might not make it into round number 2, and they are having pretty decent races.
Yeah, that's how close this points battle is. Only 3 races in this first round of eliminations. Our next round of elimination only going to have 2 races. We want to talk about things getting intense. That is really going to ratchet it up quite a bit. Only having 2 races in our second round of eliminations, and all of that leads to the final race of the season, a winner-take-all situation.
Yeah, I mean, you put yourself in a crunch with just those 2 races. You gotta have a knockout, and if you don't, you better get a triple. If not, you might need a double in both of the races. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tough road if you secure a championship here this season.
Derek Conley side by side with the 53 of Dave Hunt. They're coming to the start-finish line. Dave Hunt has the advantage, and he is going to log another lap led. Right now, Robert Duvendeck has led the most laps with 14 laps in total. We have only been slowed for 4 cautions here tonight. We had 2 very early in stage number 1, and then our 2 stage ending cautions. 26 lead changes in total. And I think we're going to see quite a few more lead changes here tonight, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, you can see upwards of 30, 40 lead changes very, very easily at these restrictor plate races. Oh, Hunter Reynolds look to block that outside run, and Hunt having none of it. Now Connolly gonna be stuck 3 wide right now. What will Mayer do? Looks like Mayer's gonna stick with that middle lane. That's gonna put Hunt high and dry all by himself, now leaving a little bit of room, letting Hunt come back down. That's some good sportsmanship right there. Rather let the driver in than make a mistake and have something bad happen. So hats off to Mayer getting that job done. Hunter Reynolds surging back to the front. Now he's going to try to take the race lead once again, as Anthony English leading the inside lane with help from Batman himself. That Batmobile has moved its way up inside the top 5.
Haven't talked a whole lot about the 04 Mark Mann here tonight, but quietly trying to make his way back forward. If you remember, Mark Mann was one of those drivers caught up in our very first incident of the night. Since then, he has been working his way forward. Here he is back inside the top 5.
Yeah, and we've seen a few comers and goers here tonight. We've seen a few drivers start near the front of the field, have some issues, drop back, way back in the pack, and find themselves back running inside the top 10, knocking on the door of the top 5. And I'm speaking about that 7 of Josh Milam. Look at him out there, 4th car, outside lane. I mean, what a recovery from Milam. He was caught up in, what was it, at least 2 early incidences here today, and right here running back at the top of the field.
Yeah, Josh Milam has had an up and down night as well. And here he is inside the top 10 in a position to challenge for the race win. And Josh Milam, no stranger to victory lane here on Monday nights, but been a little sparse here the last few weeks for that 7 machine.
Big wiggles down there on the bottom out of Anthony English, his 40 machine, struggling through 3 and 4, gathers it up, gets it all corrected. No harm, no foul there, but big wiggles through 3 and 4. Now back on the bumper of the 26. Back into turn number 1 and 2. They'll work their way through the center. Now off of turn 2, Connolly only good enough to keep even with English as they head down the backstretch.
Don't look now, Dave, but we are only a handful of stops away, or a handful of laps away from green flag pit stops. And this is really going to shake the field up. It does every time green flag pit stops happen. And it is really going to come down to who's going to hit pit road just at the right time. We do have 19 cars out on the lead lap. All our lead lap cars are within 2 seconds of each other. Rodney Cobb in the 44 machine is the first car 1 lap down, and Cobb, he is in, well, let's check in on the 44 of Cobb. He is working with the 02 of Overstreet. Overstreet is 5 laps down, so he's got a kind of a rough night for David Overstreet, but Rodney Cobb hoping to stay the first car 1 lap down, and things are looking very good for him, considering that the lead lap cars are all within 2 seconds.
And you know, KR, I haven't put on the crew chief hat yet so far here, trying to keep track of all the great racing action going on at the front of the field. Connolly surging forward, now going to drop to the bottom in front of Hunter Reynolds, but going to put on that crew chief hat real quick for you. We're about 5 or 6 laps away from seeing green flag pit stops. With the amount of laps that we have left, we've got 31 laps left right now as the drivers head down the backstretch. Another 5 or 6 laps, that's going to put them right around 24 laps to go, 25 laps to go. Will we see somebody stretch it? Or will we see drivers hit pit road twice here before the end of this race?
Ooh, now you got my brain thinking. How would I want to play this?
And I mean, remember, this first stop, KR, remember, if there's a late caution, that's going to change the game. Everybody's going to be able to make it from that point on. So do you roll the dice and just get a little splash now and then try to hope that your crew chief worked it out where you got 2 or 3 other drivers with you that just take a little splash right now, get back out there on track, then come back down and fill the car up and try to keep yourself at the front of the field that way? I mean, which way do you play it?
How about if I just crash out and don't have to worry about it?
Well, we've seen that happen before, but
that's, if I'm going to be honest, that is exactly how I would end up playing it, because I'd be trying to mess with the fuel, be trying to do all this other stuff. Next thing you know, I'm into somebody because I forgot to turn, I didn't slow down, any number of things. But here we're starting to see these drivers get single file. That means we are really looking at hitting pit lane here in the next few laps.
And looking through timing and scoring, once again, doing the crew chief deal here right now. I see a few drivers peppered through the running order right now with about 2 laps difference in their fuel. That plays big time, because those drivers can stay out 2, maybe 3 laps longer than the other drivers they're around. And when they stop, if they stretch it, I think they can make it to the end, KR. I think some of these drivers around the 20-lap range on their fuel right now, Derek Connolly, Hunter Reynolds, James Mayer, Josh Milam, most of your front runners right now, they're going to struggle to make it from one stop to the end of this thing. But I think Helton, the kid, might be on a pretty good strategy here. He'll have a few drivers to help him if they stick together.
And here they come, the 28 of Derek Conley, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, and the 24, Will Weber, coming in way hot. But he keeps it off his teammates. And man, I thought Will Weber was going to take out Derek Conley, but what a bit of elbows up. That 24 machine was able to keep it off his teammate.
I almost cringed because I was like, ooh, what's going to happen?
So now the 95 of James Mayer and the 40 of Anthony English out in front of this field. Logan Helton sitting right there as well. Logan, who had been battling at the mid-pack, finds himself 3rd car in this line. No new takers for pit road. So we'll see how FSR is going to play this, as they are out on track as the only ones to hit pit lane.
And I mean, it looks like most of the drivers that hit pit road, KR, it looks like most of them took maybe just right sides and fuel, all sub 10-second stops. So I wonder how much fuel they actually put in and how far they're actually going to get to go, because I'm not sure they can make it 26 laps from this point to the end of the race. I mean, 26 laps, that's a big stretch.
Yeah, it's going to be a stretch, as we do have a few more hit pit lane. Chase Berry in the 11 machine going to lead this second group of drivers on the pit road. FSR has formed up, all 3 drivers on the throttle. Mayer probably going to have to hit pit lane before he catches those 3. And I will say, I'm kind of a little bit surprised they didn't come down this time, or last time, but I do expect to see almost everyone else hit pit road this time by.
Yeah, 23 laps into this run, 25 laps remaining, 24 when they cross the line. It's going to be a stretch for these drivers to make it, but they're all banking that they can. Logan Helton, great entry onto pit road there. A lot of cars, almost a stack up. Rick Sebrands almost goes around, just a little love tap, I guess. But a great run on the pit road there by the kid.
Yeah, Logan Helton very aggressive getting into his pit lane. But now we're going to check in on the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. He is working with his teammates. That is Derek Conley and Josh Milam. FSR trying to get hooked up. Can they make their way around this super speedway and take over the race lead. Logan Helton down and away. He is getting up to speed, working his way on the apron. These 3 cars, though, not as much energy provided by 3 cars as there was in that big pack, but they did have the advantage right now their way as they are coming through the field as we ride on board with the 26 of Hunter Reynolds.
And great job by Logan Helton to get on and off pit road the way that he did. He finds himself still in the race lead here. So a great pit stop there by the kid and his crew, getting the job done for the money stop, if you will. And I mean, a few of the drivers, James Mayer, Rick Seabrans, also great pit stops. But a big field gonna run down Helton. He's kind of a sitting duck at this point. Those 3 cars got a lot of momentum and a lot of speed, and Helton is all alone.
Helton is trying to get to the back bumper of Doug Rice in that 35 machine. Maybe use those 3 to try and outpace the rest of the field. But Hunter Reynolds in the 26 has made his way up into second place. Josh Milam and Derek Conley still pushing on that 26 machine. James Mayer in the 95 down on the inside of Derek Conley. They are closing in on our race leader, the 63 of Logan Helton.
I mean, that's a 1 second gap. It was a little bit more, obviously, because these 3 grouped together, they are running down Helton very, very fast. But, I mean, that just lets you know how great of a stop that was for Helton. And 30.4 seconds on and off pit road. That is a heck of a job.
And now FSR is going to make its way around Logan Helton, but he is going to slide down and try and pull in some draft speed off the 28 of Conley, and he is going to quickly close in. So Logan Helton doing an outstanding job on pit road, going to come out in 4th place here as everyone's starting to settle in, and the caution flag is going to come out as we got trouble. The 62 of Les Levy and the 77 of David Booth getting together. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happens to the 62 as he's going to get loose off the corner and collect the 23 of Brian Mansfield. Take another look at this one. David Booth in the 77 was trying to miss Les Levy. It looks like Les just got a little sideways up off the corner. One more peek at it here. He had the run coming, moved to the outside, and yeah, just gets loose coming up off the corner.
Yeah, but that was some hard impact with that outside wall, and almost some really hard impact there by David Booth. I don't think Booth actually hit him. I think he made his way by him, but that was very, very close to being driver's side. Hard impact there, but tough break for Les Levy. Not quite the birthday present that he was hoping for so far here tonight.
So with this yellow coming out, we are going to see I would say almost everyone come down pit road, as they're going to have the option of now trying to stretch this thing out the rest of the way to the checkered flag. They will be right on the bubble, and if we get a green, white, checkered, that ooh, I don't even want to think about that.
I think most of the drivers that hit pit road right there, they're all right. Rick Seabrans, Randall Cobb, Dave Hunt, Robert Duvendak. Ooh, I'm not so sure, bud. But I mean, they are saving fuel right now under caution. We've seen stranger things happen here at OP Racing Super Speedway Series before, but it's gonna be a stretch for them if we see another caution or a green, white checker there. They're definitely gonna have to hit pit road. But I wonder who took left sides this time. If they got right sides, caution right after they pitted, KR. No need to get 4. You might as well just put the other side on, fill it with what you need, because you don't need very much to make sure you got enough fuel. So, wonder what the strategy was like down there on pit road.
Yeah. Well, now we get to play catch up and try and figure out who's done what and made the right call.
As long as they didn't make the call that I made, it's probably the right call.
Yeah, the 4 has stayed out. The 52 has stayed out. That is Rick Seabrand's Randall Cobb, Dave Hunt in the 53, and the 10 of Robert Duvendak. They did not come down pit road. Doug Rice in the 35 machine. He is trying to get the wave around. Good call for the 35. But man, I just in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking these guys, I don't think they're going to have enough for a green, white, checkered.
But I mean, if we do get that green, white, checkered, they could stay out saving the gas that they need. I mean, it's not a stretch. Well, I guess it is a stretch really, but a fuel mileage stretch game going on here. But it could be done.
Absolutely. And all of that is, that green, white, checkered I keep talking about. That's if we need it. A lot of times drivers win or lose races, teams win or lose races by gambling on how this race is going to finish. And right now, I think the 4, the 52, the 53, and the 10 are gambling on the fact that this race is going to finish in its scheduled distance.
And that's yet to be seen. I mean, cautions breed cautions, and then you got to add on not only the stress of running out of laps to get the job done, but a lot of these championship drivers, KR, I mean, we've got, 9 out of the top 10, 11 out of the top 12 are your championship contenders. I mean, they're running out of time. This is it. This is the cutoff. Rick Seabrand's, he's up there leading the race. He's already locked in. Derek Connolly right there in 8th place. He's already locked into the next round. So it's going to be some hard fought battles, and I think we're going to see a driver or two maybe stick the nose of their car maybe where they wouldn't have done it maybe 5 to 10 laps ago. I mean, the situation's ever evolving on track, and when it's all on the line, you'll do pretty much anything. I know I'd wreck my mom to win a race. I mean, I love her, but I mean, hey, not first, you're last.
So the 4 of Rick Seabrand's on the inside for the restart. On his outside will be the 52 of Randall Cobb. Dave Hunt in the 53 machine on the inside of row number 2. Robert Duvendak in the 10 on the outside. Then it's the 7 of Josh Milam. And we saw the 7 machine come down pit road. FSR had done a great job under that green flag pit stop to take over the race lead. Then the caution flag came out just as all 3 drivers had cleared the 63 of Logan Helton. Speaking of Logan Helton, he will be the 4th car on the inside lane. He's working that apron, trying to shorten up this track as much as possible, save as much fuel as he can.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe even stopping there, still have to save gas to make a green, white, checkered work out. But either way, we're fixing to find out. Ford Mustang pace car lights are off. Finally, we'll get that ugly thing on out the way. Get back to what we love, green flag racing once again. Waiting for Seabrand to fire off. He hits the gas. Away we go. Once again here at Daytona International Speedway, Seabrand's with a good run on the restart. Randall Cobb slow on the restart. No help from behind for Seabrand's just yet. Now Duvendak surging to the back of Cobb.
Side by side through turns 1 and 2 onto the backstretch. The 52 of Cobb going to have the momentum for the moment. Duvendak in the 10 machine peeking out trying to get to that back bumper, but keep some air to the nose of his race car as well. Don't want to overheat it here in this opening lap for this restart and then have to drop back and catch some air. Everything's coming down here to these last few laps. We're going to have 16 laps to go. And Dave, these drivers are quickly running out of time to make some moves. And you know what that means. Desperation goes up, and that push gets just that much harder.
Yeah, and that's something that can upset the cars very, very easily here at the Legacy Daytona 07 track. Caution out on the track, and I believe Mark Mann may have been caught up and actually looking through the field. Not quite sure who that was, to be honest. Les Levy, it looks like, is sitting on pit road. Don't think he was involved in that one, so, ooh.
Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened here. The 44 of, that was the 44 of Rodney Cobb getting into the 24 of Will Weber and the 11 of Chase Berry. That was a very violent impact with the 44 and the 24. Go on the nose of, and again, that is another car that has just gotten loose coming off of turn 2.
I mean, I've said it, man. This track, it doesn't matter if you're on the low line or the high line. It's a handful, and it's an absolute handful out there. And then if you've got old right side tires because you only took left, add that on, or maybe you loosened up the car by just taking right sides and not having a complete full tank of gas. Weight distributions, things of that nature. KR, you race a car, you understand what I'm talking about here. You know, the physics change depending on what you do with the car at certain times, and this driver's getting caught out here, man. Big moves, big wiggles all over the place all night long.
Yeah, this caution is going to help these drivers in their fuel run, try and get that much further. So Cobb thanking the racing gods for the caution, so too is the 4 of Rick Seabrands. I think this caution is really going to help them if a green-white checkered comes out. But man, I tell you what, this OP racing on Monday night gonna give my ticker it's gonna give it a hard time ticking.
I have no idea what you said, and I have no idea what you meant.
Yeah, my heart's racing. We're getting towards the end of the race.
See, you should have said what you meant better.
Well, I better meant what I said.
Strong the 4th with you it is.
Oh my goodness, the 52 of Randall Cobb was out in front when that caution flag flew. He is trying to show the pace car how to get around this Daytona super speedway. Rick Seabrand's going to slot in behind the 52 as the lights stay on the pace car. So guys, we're going to take a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the lights are still on that Ford Mustang. Randall Cobb in the 52 out in front of this field. Everyone patiently waiting for the lights to go out. We have seen just a handful of drivers at the back of the pack come down pit road, but for the most part, everyone has stayed out under this yellow flag. And Dave, that tells me these guys are set to go on fuel.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much not wanting to and not willing to take the risk to come down pit road, get caught speeding, anything kind of silly like that, and that's gonna put a big damper on their day and a big swing in the opposite direction for their chase. Does that make sense? That kind of sounded funny, but you know that. Trying to get to round number 2. There you go. I said what I meant better that time, KR, but it would put them well outside of the opportunity of trying to make it to round number 2. I mean, they're gonna have to go get it right now. And Randall Cobb, he is trying to get the job done, trying to beat the 4 of Rick Sebrands lining up inside row number 1, right behind him. Another great pusher, Robert Duvendak in the 10 machine. So Cobb's gonna have his work cut out for him. But look at Hunt. I mean, he's been driving like a man on a mission here tonight. He's gonna start outside row number 2, KR. So I mean, I have no idea what we're about to see.
Yeah, Cobb elected to go to the outside lane to work with his teammate Dave Hunt. However, that did put the 10 and the 4 working together, so kind of a tough situation for lane choice, but the 52 has elected to go with his teammate. Not only that, but Cobb is going to have the option to get on the throttle at his choosing. So that being said, it could play to his advantage here in this outside lane.
I don't know, that outside lane just hasn't been getting going, but I mean, he's the one that controls it once the pace car gets on the pit road, so we're off the racing surface, so that's always a good thing. But man, only 11 laps to go. Once we go back green flag racing, pace car lights out, it's gonna duck off in a way. We'll get set to fire things back off once again here at Daytona International Speedway. Cobb hits the gas. Sebrands with a great start, side by side at the line. Bumped by Hunt, but not going to be enough to help his teammate surge back in front of the 4 of Rick Sebrands. Robert Duvendak right on the bumper. Hunter Reynolds right there as well. Now that inside lane gaining the ground. Sebrands well in front of Cobb, but now the outside lane gonna surge forward once again with Hunt pushing on his teammate Josh Milam right there, and the kid Logan Helton right behind Milam, and Batman coming back into the picture late here in the race as we've got 10 laps to go this time by.
Sebrands in the 4 down on the inside lane, but Cobb in that 52 gonna come around and lead that lap at the start finish line. So Randall Cobb trying to flex some muscle here as we're gonna have 10 laps to go. Time running out in this race. Not only this race, but the first round of eliminations. Cobb falling back a little bit on the backstretch.
And it looks like the 7 of Josh Milam had enough of that outside lane. He's going to drop to the bottom. That's going to put the kid right there running third car outside lane. Big gap between Cobb and his teammate. Milam sideways off of 4. Big wreck back there coming off of turn number 4. I believe James Mayer caught up as well. Milam was sideways and around he went. Ton of cars involved late here in the race.
One of those involved is the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happens here as we go on board with the 21 machine. Josh Milam in the 7. Everyone trying to give the 7 room And Holloway gonna end up just going up and over, turtle shelling it, skateboard style, riding on his roof into the grass. And unfortunately for Holloway, he never quite gets flipped over. Let's take another look at this one. On board the 23 of Brian Mansfield, there's Josh Milam in the 7, gets sideways. Holloway going up and over, and everyone scrambling behind them. The 11 of Chase Berry, hard impact into that inside wall. The 11 machine up in smoke. Let's go on board with the 11 of Chase Berry as we take one last look at this one. Holloway going up and over, and Chase Berry smashing that inside wall. As the 21 comes to a rest on the grass. So with yellow flag coming out once again, Dave.
Man, that's a tough one to watch right there. Looks like we've got a few of the championship contenders caught up in that one. Chase Berry, his night is over. He is behind the wall. Nothing left for Berry to do here tonight, and that's going to put a damper on his championship hopes. Will Weber still out there on track, but well behind the field. His night, or his chances at the championship, fizzling away. Les Levy also, that opportunity slipping from his grasp. James Mayer caught up in that latest one. He is still running out there on track, KR, but he is behind the 8 ball right now, running in the 13th position. We'll have about 5 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. And I mean, Anthony English, Josh Milam, they're not quite out of harm's way just yet either. Milam caught up in multiple incidents here tonight. Wonder what he's got left in the tank, as well as Anthony English caught up in a few incidents. So I don't know, man. The end of this thing just got a little bit trickier.
Yeah, it did, and we are working our 7th caution of the night. 36 lead changes in total, and right now the 4 of Rick Seabrand's out in front of this field. Randall Cobb in the 52, tucked in right behind him. And Dave, we're gonna have 16 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing.
Now, I mean, all 16 have a shot to win this thing, as long as they got some help and it's not too beat up. Engines full song, and I mean, heck, I've seen drivers win these races without a full engine, just the right push and pull at the right time, utilizing the draft right when they needed to, found themselves in a victory lane. And you know what? I think we're gonna see a first-time winner here for this race. Just something about it has me thinking we're gonna get a driver in victory lane for the first time here at the end of the night.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
So was that an agree or a disagree? Because he said I mean, yeah, but then I don't know. So now I don't know.
We know OP Racing so hard to have a repeat winner. So the chances of seeing someone hit victory lane for the first time this season are very high. However, we are in the midst of a chase. These drivers that are in chase contention may be trying to up their game a little bit and might be able to pull it off. All of that being said, Randall Cobb in the 52 machine, still looking for his first win of the season. A driver in the chase. Maybe he can pull off the win, secure himself into round 2, and pick up his first win of the season.
But you know, if I don't know, once again, a little bit of strategy here. If you're Randall Cobb, you know that Rick Seabrands is already locked in. You know, if he takes the race win, that he's more than likely taking points away from one of your fellow competitors that may now find themselves out of the point standings, even if you finish just second. So, I mean, I know nobody likes to try to say they wouldn't manipulate the race, so to speak, but and not like Formula One style racing where you have team orders necessarily in place, but if it helps you get somebody that you know you're gonna depend on in round number 2 into it, maybe that 52 just helps push that forward to the win here.
Either way, just getting across the start-finish line without being involved in an incident is going to be huge for our chase contenders. So despite the fact that they want to get that race win, I'd say finishing this race with your car intact, maybe inside the top 5, is the way to look at this thing. Randall Cobb came into tonight 7th place in the point standings. If he can walk away with a top 5 finish here, he's got a very, very good shot at locking himself into round number 2 on points alone. But here we go. Pace car getting ready to peel off. We're going to take the green flag with 5 laps to go. Rick Seabrands on the throttle. He's going to get a good jump with his teammate, the 10 of Robert Dumendak. Right behind him, they stay nose to tail as they pull away. Here comes the 52 of Randall Cobb with the 26 of Hunter Reynolds.
And speaking of teammates, look right behind Robert Duvendak, and you can find that 04 of Mark Mann. Third car inside lane, and just to his outside, Logan Hilton, the kid, doing what he needs to do to try to make it to round number 2 here in his rookie season, trying to chase after the championship here. Anthony English now coming into the picture as well. Your top 10 all championship contenders. This is about to get hot and heavy. Big push by the 26 on the back of Cobb. Seabrands falling to the wayside just a little bit on the inside lane, now surging back even with Cobb as they head through the center of 1 and 2.
Cobb in the 52 trying to win this race and punch his ticket in round number 2, but he's not the only one who needs that race win. Logan Helton tucked in behind him, and also the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. But this lead pack has pulled away, and they are sitting at a 2.7 second lead over the next group of cars. And so this race could be settled amongst these 10 drivers, as Mark Mann and someone has gone and brought out the yellow, and that looks like the 7 of Josh Milam.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened with Milam there on the front stretch, but big moment, broke up most of your front runners, and we're going to slow it on down once again, get ourselves back behind the pace car. And KR, guess what? We've got our first green-white checkered attempt here shortly.
Yeah, teammate Derek Conley and Josh Milam just did not get together properly going through the tri-oval. That sent both of them into trouble, so that is going to be a rough one for Josh Milam to come back from. Not impossible, just rough.
Well, if we've learned anything over not just the course of this season, but the course of last season as well, KR, that's anything and everything is bound and can and will happen here in the OP Racing Super Speedway Series. So don't quite count Milam out just yet. Still a lot of drivers out there running that could have some trouble here on the restart for this green-white checkered, because I mean you gotta hit it. It's all take, no give. So I don't know, look for another caution here. Our race trends do show we tend to have 2 green-white checkered attempts before we get it all in the books here at the Legacy Daytona KR. So I think we're in for some more late race action.
Yeah, this is our first attempt at a green-white checkered. We will see if anyone is going to have to come down pit road, but I do believe we've had enough cautions that everyone will be able to make it on this first attempt at our green-white checkered. And right now, that pace car out in front with its lights on. I'll tell you, it sure would be nice to be able to push a button and have a very short caution flag.
Yeah, but you know, KR, we kind of needed them flash bulbs in the stands.
I mean, I've seen Adam's family.
What?
Have you never seen Fester put a light bulb in his mouth? Uncle
Okay.
Fester?
You lost me for a second, which, I mean, it doesn't take very much. Just give me give me 2 minutes and I'm usually lost anyway.
Hey, sticks a light bulb in his mouth, lights up. Randall Cobb in the 52 machine out in front right now. The 4 of Rick Seabrand's tucked in behind him. Hunter Reynolds in third. Chase drivers right now all in the first 8 positions. Some Chase drivers in trouble. That is Chase Berry in the 11 machine. His night is done and over with. Will Weber in the 24. He is 9 laps down in 21st spot. And Les Levy in the 62 in 22nd place on pit road and has been on pit road for the last half hour. So it looks like Les Levy is going to have a hard time getting back on the lead lap. As first of all, he's not even out on track. Second of all, we are in the midst of a green-white checkered. The lights stay on the pace car once again. So with only 3 drivers not able to finish this on the lead lap as things sit right now, who are in the chase, if you wanted to just go ahead and do some simple math, those 3 drivers would be out. Then we're down to just 10 drivers left in the chase, but don't count out Derek Conley. Rick Seabrand have won a race, so they are locked in. So that gives us just 8 drivers of the 10 who are on the lead lap. Boy, I messed that all up. I'm gonna start over. I don't know what's gonna happen, Dave.
What in the Common Core math have I just heard?
Well, see, that's the problem. I tried to use Common Core math and it just didn't work out.
And go back to your fingers and toes. It works much better. I mean, not that it's really good, but I mean, it is better.
Holy smokes, that was bad. So, Chase Berry, Will Weber, Les Levy, looking like their chase is done. They are sitting on pit road. Anything can happen. Penalties, whatnot, can come down from up on high. That leaves us with just 10 drivers in this race who have a shot at making it into the chase. Of those 10 drivers, Derek Conley, Rick Seabrand have race wins. Now we're down to 8 of the 10. Josh Milam finding himself in trouble. He's going to have to dig himself out of a hole. So yeah, it's a little dicey. Eight chase drivers sitting in the first 8 positions, and only 8 spots up for grabs. 2 of them already taken.
I'm still lost. I'm still lost.
Just
we'll figure it out.
Cheese whiz.
Cheese and crackers, man. I don't get it.
Cheese whiz. Just get you some cheese whiz. It'll fix everything.
I do think drivers that are in trouble Josh Milam and James Mayer. I think those are the two drivers that may be in trouble right here of not moving on, that are still out there on track running, KR. And man, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow if you're James Mayer, if my math is correct and I understood what you were saying. I mean, that's got to be tough, man, to be running in 8th place and hear your crew chief say, man, you got to get a couple more spots or our season's done for.
Yeah, it is going to be a tough one. But here we go. Lights are out on the pace car, the 52 of Cobb, choosing the inside lane. Once again, that is going to put the 4 and the 10 lined up nose to tail. And now you can add in the 04 of Mark Mann and the 95 of James Mayer. So Alliance Motorsports in that outside lane. How is this going to play out for the rest of the field? Pace car heads to pit lane. Randall Cobb in the 52 gets the green flag, and we're back underway here at Daytona in our first attempt at a green-white checkered, and Cobb trying to outrun this field.
Back under green flag racing once again. Rick Seabrand's now surging towards the front of the field with help from his teammate Robert Juvendak right on his rear bumper. Go for it, Mark Mann just behind them. The 95 of James Mayer inside lane, gaining a little bit of ground, keeping the momentum up now. Logan Helton right there on the rear bumper of Hunter Reynolds as Reynolds continues to push Cobb down into turn number 3. KR this time by. Drivers will see the white flag if we get there. Looks like we're going to be able to do it. I believe the one to go will be shown this time by white flag here at Daytona International Speedway.
Cobb in the 52 out in front. He has less than 2.5 miles to go to try and win this thing, but the 4 Rick Seabrands on the outside. A very crafty driver in that 4 machine. Now he's going to have the momentum down the backstretch. Hunter Reynolds, big wiggle out of the 26, but that does not deter the 4 and the 10. They stay hooked up. Can the 26's engine survive as he has been locked to the back bumper of the 52?
Big pushes by the 26 as well as from the 10. 4 surging forward now. Big push by Duvendak. Door check. The 4's up the track. Too close to call. They're wrecking across the line.
Duvendak goes for a spin. So too does Logan Helton. But Randall Cobb in the 52 going to be your race winner. He pulled it off. And a door check coming to the tunnel turn may have made the difference.
Man, oh man. That was a great finish here for the race, man. Great job side by side, door checking, a little bit of a, I mean, it wasn't a hard shot. You know what I mean? That's just a, hey man, I gotta do what I gotta do to slow you down.
Absolutely. The 52 played that one perfectly. He didn't even wreck the 4, just made the 4 really have to think long and hard about his next move. And that is all it took to put the 52 into victory lane. Rick Seabrands does bring it home in 2nd place. Hunter Reynolds in 3rd. So guys, we're going to set up our post-race show. No one go anywhere. We'll be back to talk to our podium finishing drivers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the 52 of Randall Cobb has picked up his first win of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time as he locks himself into round number 2 of the chase. Randall, congratulations on that race win.
Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate it, KR. That was a tough race. It was a fun race overall. You know, I had a tough, little bit of tough luck there on the end of stage 2, and man, I gotta be honest, that got under my skin pretty well, and I just said to myself, I'm gonna freaking do everything I can to win this race. And things just worked out for me. Great push by Hunter. Anytime you can beat the legend Rick Seabrands, you've done something.
Well, that 52 was able to walk away with a win here tonight. But, man, tell us about that last lap, that final restart, coming to the white flag and all that stuff.
Well, I just wanted to get a little bit of a jump there. I didn't want, you know, I know Rick had help with Robert on the outside there, so I didn't want them guys to be able to get up and ahead of me. And I knew that I had Hunter, who was pushing hard, and you know, he needed points for the chase. I've, you know, worked pretty well with FSR all year round, and you know, we come to the white flag there, and the whole lap really I had very good momentum. I felt really good, and then coming to the white flag, I see the big number 4 coming up, and I had to, you know, maybe come up on him, give him a little nudge, break his momentum, and you know, it worked out for us.
Well, nice job out there tonight, Mr. Cobb. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yep, yeah. You guys, first and foremost, as always, like I said, I think I told you before, I always like going back and watching your guys' broadcast. You guys do a hell of a job. A lot of my buddies tune in and watch, and they're, you know, probably watching right now, and they've all been like, man, you guys got a hell of a broadcast crew there. They really know what they're doing. So shout out to you guys, my teammates, Rodney Cobb, Doug Rice, Dave Hunt, and Rob Connors. They're always very supportive, and you know, just appreciate everybody, man. Thanks a lot.
That is Randall Cobb, your race winner here tonight, picking up his first win of the season and advancing on into round number 2. And Dave, I believe you caught up with second place.
Yeah, and actually he made it a little bit easier for me to catch up with him, driving on the other side of pit road wall to come down here and grab a microphone with me for just a brief moment. Rick Seabrands, brother, how you doing?
No, we're doing great, man. What a great race out there tonight.
Yeah, man, there was tons of action all over the track. Walk me through that last lap, if you would, coming to the checkered flag.
Well, first off, congratulations to Randall, man. I mean, it was a long time coming for that win, and super proud of him. You know, he was up there last week. He helped us get our win, and really psyched to see him get his win this week. And good shout out to the crew there too for staying out there and got us that track position to stay up there with just everything got kind of wild there, and we saved enough fuel, and we was able to keep that track position and stay up front. But that last lap, we knew it was going to be wild there. I felt like I got used up a little bit there coming back to the checker, but I get it, man. Randall's racing for his playoff life out there. Any one of them chasers out there, if you're not willing to do that, then what are you even out here for, man? Because it's all about getting to that final 8, and they accomplished that tonight. So good on them. Great run for the Yeti Alliance Motorsports Chevrolet, and we can't wait for Talladega.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was gonna ask you that next, with being able to move on into round number 2, chasing after another championship. How much pressure are you putting yourself under, and do these other contenders that are going to be left here after this cutoff? How much pressure is it knowing that you've only got 2 races this round, and you're going to have to be on your A game for both?
I mean, there's a ton of pressure out there. I mean, with 3 races left and 2 here for the last 8 drivers, I mean, there's a lot of drivers that aren't going to be getting very good rest Sunday night coming into Monday because it's so cutthroat and it's so aggressive and and everybody's so equal out there. These races are so hard to win, and just having good finishes and putting together a good 2 race streak alone can sometimes be challenging as we've seen in the past, man. I feel like we have as good a chance as anybody else. You got to be in it to win it, and we're moving on, and that's all that matters.
I hear you, my man. Well, once again, congratulations. Great job out there walking away with a second place finish in today's race and continuing on in the championship. So, Rick, before we let you go, would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Huge shout out to my teammate Robert back there too. He was pushing the hell out of me. I think we probably would have had a pretty good look at it at the end there, man. He had a great run tonight too. All my teammates, Anthony, Jim, Mark, you guys for putting this on, OP, and all the fans for watching.
All right. Well, there you have it. Some few final words from driver of the 4 machine, Rick Seabrands, finishing in the second position, continuing his championship hopes here from Daytona International Speedway. KR, I think you finally had an opportunity to catch up with the Reynolds Wrap man himself, Hunter Reynolds.
I have caught up with our third place finisher, and that is the driver of the 26 machine. Now, I call it the 26 machine, but it's only got 26 square feet of aluminum Reynolds Wrap available to it. Congratulations on third place out there, Hunter. Nice job, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That last stop went pretty well for us. We knew we had to come in and pit, I guess, but they made a better call than us, which good job on them, and we were able to slowly work our way back up. Unfortunately, my teammates got caught up in all that craziness, but solid top 3 here. I'll take it.
Well, the 26 does finish in third, and I don't have the final points tally for tonight, but man, if I were to be a betting man, I think you were able to get enough points and make it into round number 2 here and get going for continuing that chase championship hunt.
Yeah, we're close, if anything. I'm not sure. Had decent stages tonight, and of course, a third place always helps. But if we move on to that final 8, it'll be good, and then we have a next tough 2 races here. But this track isn't my favorite, but we were able to get good points tonight, so that's all that matters.
Well, the 26 did have a solid run, and you've laid it all out there, did everything you can. Now you just need to see where the chips fall. But man, I'll tell you what, this 26 had a solid showing, and again, FSR really putting up some heavy numbers throughout the race. You guys seem to be working together.
Yes, sir. Tonight was kind of rough, though. We did have some incidents get caught up in, but we keep our team working together good, and we'll just hopefully gain some momentum here for the last 3 races. See how it goes. But this working with the team here, it's so important to help you out because everybody else has other teammates too. So just gotta get some momentum here.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on third. And before we let you go, any shout outs or thank yous?
Yep, love to give a huge shout out to my teammates, FSR, Derek, Josh, Will, great guys. Thanks to Will Weber for my paint scheme, did a great job with it. It's 4X graphics. I'd like to thank Turn 3, all the league admins, and of course everyone watching. We appreciate you guys.
All right, that is the driver of the 26, Hunter Reynolds, bringing it home in third place. Nice job there, Hunter. And Dave, our post-race show is about ready to wrap up, but before we call it a night, why don't you tell me your final thoughts about tonight's race?
Oh man, where to begin? We had crazy action there in stage number 1, a few cautions. That's where the majority of the cautions happened here tonight. 2 cautions for the stage end, 1 right there at the stage end. A great finish. We had some fuel strategy mixed in there, some drivers in the chase with some trouble. We had some drivers doing some X Games maneuvers out there, sliding through the front stretch on their lids. So, I mean, a little bit of everything as always. And Man, I can't wait to see how these drivers are going to push the envelope on these next 2 races, man. It's going to be crazy.
That it is, and nothing left for us here at Daytona but to go through the results. The 52 of Randall Cobb picks up his first win of the season. The 4 of Rick Seabrands bringing it home in second. Third place going to Hunter Reynolds. Robert Duvendeck finishing in 4th, and 5th place goes to the 04 of Mark Mann.
Walking away in 6th, the 63 of Logan Helton. 7th place, the 95 of James Mayer. 8th goes to the 40 of Anthony English. Walking away in 9th, the 77 of David Boothen. Rounding out your top 10, the 53 of Dave Hunt.
Brian Mansfield going to finish 11th. 12th will be the 00 of Rob Connors. 13th will be Rodney Cobb. 14th, Doug Rice. And 15th will be Derek Conley.
16th, first driver, 1 lap down, the 21 of Daniel Holloway. 17th, the 50 of Sean McCarrick. Josh Milam in his 7 machine may have seen his championship hopes dashed here tonight, finishing in 18th. 19th spot, the 02 of David Overstreet. Rounding out your top 20, the 24 of Will Weber.
21st will be the 11 of Chase Berry. 22nd, the 62 of Les Levy. Cody Ober finishing in 23rd. And Cody Eldred, as always, thank you for being race control and informing us of everything that's going on out on the track. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for us here in the booth. Make sure you join us next Monday night, May 11th, as we head to Talladega. And Dave, I hope you can join me for that one as well.
Well, as long as there's no tornadoes, lightning strikes, or anything like that that put me on the sideline, I believe I'm a head on down. I think it's only about a 6-hour drive for me, actually, to get to that track. So may have to show up in person and do a grid walk.
All right, guys. So until next week, y'all stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you next Monday night.